Here's the deal. By the end of this video, you're finally going to understand why you keep repeating the same destructive patterns on repeat, even though you're smart enough to know better and exactly how you should stop. I'm also going to show you the exact 5-step process I use to break my own chaos patterns, and I am currently using to break my own chaos patterns so I can actually build a life that I feel secure in, wealthy in, loved, and low-key hot, and you can use it too. So stick around because this is literally the nervous system and self-trust playbook that no one else is giving you. Look, I'm not speaking from some perfect, ideal pedestal where my whole life is just like grand and I don't have any problems. I've spent most of my adult life saying yes to things I've wanted to say no to. Before I met my husband, dating men who were not emotionally available, spending money I didn't have to feel better for 5 minutes about myself because I was embarrassed about not having the perfect career and job situation. And then also staying up every night doom scrolling at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Like somehow that will all fix my life. And I know if you're stuck in that same loop, I see you. I was you. I tried mindset books, affirmations, toxic positivity, and none of it stuck because it wasn't about willpower. It's about literally science, because you're literally learning to rewire the patterns in your brain and your body. And that's exactly what we're about to break down. So let me give you just a quick rundown science wise of your nervous system. And yes, we're going to try to make trauma science sexy. So your brain doesn't just pick happy. It just cannot just pick being happy. It picks familiar. And what I mean by that is your brain likes staying the same. It loves when your body is the same. It loves when you're not sick. It loves when you are not stressed out. It loves consistency, and it loves when you feel safe, because when you don't, then it has to work in overdrive to figure out why you're not safe and what the threat is and how it needs to fix the threat. Your brain literally treats threats like it's DEFCON 1. Like it's not a game to your brain. So when you are trying to make changes and you're going from like this one extreme to this other extreme, that feels like a threat to your brain, which is why you may be trying to be like, I don't want any drama in my life, I want peace. And then you find yourself getting involved in chaos. Or you say, I'm tired of people ghosting me, and yet you find yourself constantly being surrounded by people who ghost you emotionally. Or you say, this is the last time I'm going to overdraft my account, and you do it again. Or this is the last time I'm going to overwork, this is the last time I'm going to wear myself so thin that I get sick because I'm so burnt out. And you keep trying to figure out, why do I keep finding myself in the same pattern? That's what your system is chasing, because that you've conditioned your body to make it seem like that is the safe thing to do. You condition your brain that that's cool, that's normal. And so then when you try to change it to do the opposite because you want more peace and you want to stop doing all these things, your body doesn't get it. Your brain doesn't get it. It's like, that's not safe, so why would I do that? So then next thing you know, you're doing all of these habits and these patterns and having all these thoughts like, I don't want to do that because that's not really what I want. Or maybe you don't even notice that you're doing it, you're just unconsciously doing it, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, why do I keep doing that? I just want to sit here and let you know you're not broken. Nobody really teaches this stuff. Like nobody really tells you that your brain is wired to keep you safe, and therefore you have to kind of help it feel safe before you make all these big changes, or else you're gonna get stuck in the same patterns that you're in. Your nervous system just unfortunately has just not learned how to feel safe doing it differently. And that's why you keep picking people and partners who can't love you back. That's why you keep spending money you don't have as soon as it hits your account. Or maybe you're the other person, you hoard money and you never spend and you never live and you never do anything because you feel like the bottom is going to fall out at any moment. Or you're overcommitting at work, or you maybe are doing it and you're doing it to the point of burning out. Or maybe you're undercommitting at work and then you want a promotion and you don't know why you can't perform better so you can get one. Or maybe you're saying yes to people when you really want to set boundaries and say no, and you're feeling used and you just want people to love you and you just want them to treat you right, but you still are allowing them to use you. Your brain likes this kind of stuff because at this point it's probably used to doing all of those things to survive and to keep you safe. And so it likes the chaos. So let's keep it cute and try to redo it again, because you're not trying to survive anymore. If you're here at this point and you're watching this video, you're likely trying to be like, you know what? I want to make my life over. I'm sick of, struggling. I'm sick of feeling stuck, and I don't want to feel stuck anymore. And you're done. You want to thrive. Let's actually fix it. So this is exactly why I created my break protocol. It's my 5-step method to stop betraying yourself on autopilot, whether it's in love, money, health, or literally just anything that you want to improve or fix in your life. The steps are simple, savage, and science-backed. So I'm just going to run through them real quick. We're going to spot the sabotage. We're going to interrupt the reflex. We're going to rewire your response system. We're going to reinforce all of this through repetition, and then we're going to track it so that you can notice what isn't working and tweak it. It's not fluffy. It's straight to the point, but it's literally science. It's how I've started rebuilding my life from the ground up. So again, let's do a quick run through so you can start seeing how your patterns show up by using this method. So number 1 was spot the sabotage. Let's get brutally honest, because most people are not brutally honest with themselves. And this is what leads you to having problems. Is your chaos you overgiving? Is it texting people who are walking red flags, whether that's romantic, friends, or otherwise? Are you stress shopping? Are you hoarding money? Are you overworking and calling it being ambitious? Are you overeating? Are you undereating? Are you over exercising? Are you being a couch potato and rotting into the sofa? Again, I'm asking all of these things because the truth is you cannot change what you're lying to yourself about. If you want to make changes, you have to actually act like you understand what's going on, and you can't do that if you're ignoring what you're actually doing. Step number 2 is interrupting the reflex. I like to call this unsubscribing from your auto yes. We know that there are a lot of things that people are auto-subscribed to. You're auto-subscribed to your subscription to Netflix. This is the same thing, but this is you auto-subscribing to actions and behaviors without taking a second to pause, because you're used to reacting unconsciously, or maybe you're used to reacting to a trigger that you have without thinking first. So in order for you to change the behavior, you have to interrupt the auto yes. And so this is just a small, simple micro pause before you hit buy, before you text somebody that you don't want to text, before you snap and say something that you don't really mean, before you say yes to agreeing to something that you don't really want to do. You're going to stop to see if this is something you genuinely want to do. I'll give you an example with overeating. Let's say you have some health goals, and not just to look good. Let's say maybe you have high blood pressure or something, and you're trying to get on a lower dose of medication, and in order for you to do those things, you can't eat out, you can't eat fried food, you can't eat fast food. One day you come home from having a stressful day at work, and then you're thinking, oh man, I would just kill to have some fries, right? But you had fries yesterday, and you told yourself, today I'm going to stick to my meal plan, and I'm going to stick to my promises to myself. And next thing you know, you're pulling up DoorDash on your phone, you're ordering your favorite meal, and you're getting it grande size, and then you're eating it, and then you come to halfway through your meal, and you're like, wow, I'm so disappointed in myself. I might as well not even try anymore. And then the next thing you know, 3 weeks down the line, you've completely ditched your meal plan. That one little action where you're like, I need to keep my promises to myself, and you pulled up DoorDash and you ordered the food, is the behavior we're trying to stop. You're trying to unsubscribe from the auto yes. The tiny things that you can do to help you break those habits that are kind of automatic, that you don't even think about, but make a huge impact when it comes to you feeling like you can trust yourself and stop betraying yourself, and teach your nervous system that it's okay to pause. Because what happens with people a lot of times is that you're stressed out. Your work being stressful is your trigger. You've been using food as a way to soothe it. And so you've trained your brain, in order for me to feel better, I have to medicate it by doing this other behavior, because then it's going to get rid of all these intense feelings. And if I don't, where are they going to go? What am I going to do? And so your brain, again, feels like it's being threatened. It feels like you're being chased in the woods by a vampire, right? That's what it feels like. You have to tell yourself, you have to tell your brain, and you have to tell your body, I'm safe. I don't need to do that. I am safe. Which is why you have to hit pause. And you have to tell your brain, it's okay. if we hit pause. Number 3, you're going to rewire this process, which I kind of already mentioned in the last example, with tiny, savage promises. I like to call these small little investments into your self-trust, because what happens when you do not commit to showing up for yourself and commit to keeping the promises that you want to keep to yourself when you set goals or when you're trying to establish new habits? What happens is you betray yourself. So that time you didn't go to the gym because you stayed up too late doom scrolling and you're too tired and you planned to get up at 6 a.m. But because you went to bed at 3 a.m., you slept through your alarm. And so all day long you start making choices because you're like, well, I suck anyway. I couldn't even get up to go to the gym. So what's the point of me even trying? You feel that way because you feel like you betrayed yourself because you didn't keep the promise. Same thing applies for when you go on a dating app and you start interacting with somebody and you can already tell that they're a walking red flag, but because you're so lonely and so desperate for attention, you keep entertaining it, even though you know it's not going to play out well for you. And instead of holding strong to your ideals and your promises, saying that I'm not going to settle for anybody, I have these things that I need people to meet, and if they can't meet that, then I'm not going to continue talking to them. Instead of you doing that, you give in, and then a week or two down the line, you regret the fact that you did it. You're betraying yourself. Let's call it what it is. The reason why it's so uncomfortable for you and you feel so shitty after you do it is because you feel like you betrayed yourself. You feel like you stabbed yourself in the back. And so what rewiring your, with tiny savage promises is, it's daily actions. Daily. Hear me. Daily. You have to show up for yourself daily with small promises that you keep to yourself, like going to bed at 12 instead of 3, not texting people that are red flags, paying a bill instead of going on impulsive shopping on Fashion Nova. Again, these are small things that you are doing so that you can show your brain, give your brain evidence that I did this small thing. It's safe for me to keep doing it. That's what we're working on. Number 4, you're going to reinforce this through repetition, because making huge changes is not a one-time revolution. I don't know why people think you're going to have this huge glow up and it's going to take one time. I mean, you're never going to have to glow up again. You're never going to have to get unstuck again. You're never going to have to make changes again. That's just not realistic. Why? Because you change and evolve as a human. So it makes sense that you might have to go through this process again. And if you go ahead and accept that you're allowed to, number 1, not do this 100% correctly the first time around, that you're allowed to make mistakes and try again, that you're allowed to have an evolution or a metamorphosis and start over again, the better off you'll be. You'll stop beating yourself up so much. You'll start talking so negatively to yourself. It's okay, because again, the whole point and purpose of this is for you to tell your brain it's cool, it's safe. And if you're talking all negative to yourself, you're literally killing any new neural pathways that we're trying to build to tell your brain you need to rewire a different way. And this is not something that I'm making up, guys. The whole neural pathways thing, when you're trying to restart a new habit and you're actually doing small daily steps and daily actions to it, there's been studies shown that your brain literally lights up in different areas because it's creating new pathways, that your brain is actually forming new connections, because there's millions of neurons in your brain where your brain is like, this is good for me, this is new, I want to keep doing that thing. And so it takes you doing it over and over again to make it quote unquote permanent until it's your default. And the last step of this beautiful process is to track it and tweak it. Why are we going to do that? Because if you, again, are trying to start working out and you say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym for 30 days, every day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put out my clothes the night before. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put my clothes on. I'm going to brush my teeth, and then I'm going to grab my keys and walk out the door, and I'm going to go to the gym before I go to work. And you do that, or you don't do it for whatever reason. Maybe you were sick. Maybe you didn't sleep well or whatever. If you don't track it, number 1, you're missing out on actually seeing it on paper or seeing it written down that you confirmed to your brain. I showed up 21 days out of 30 days this month. Wow. You know how much dopamine you're going to get by showing yourself the actual evidence that you stuck to your promises? This is not about perfection. This is about showing up for yourself, keeping your promises to yourself, and telling your brain and your body that you're safe and that you can trust you. That's really what you're trying to do. So And the reason why you also want to do this is because when that voice, and it is going to come back, when that voice comes sneaking back in your head saying you suck and you can't do this, this physical evidence that you write down or you put in Notion or whatever is going to be like, this is a lie. Facts over fiction, facts over feelings. That's a lie. My brain is lying to me. I did that this many days this month. I can do it again. I did this many days this month, or I didn't do this many days this month. I'm so glad that I stuck to this routine. It's giving you evidence that you can actually see, read, go back over, and let you see how good you felt doing it so that you will want to repeat it. Again, you if your chaos starts popping up again, which it will, and it's good for you to know that ahead of time so you can plan ahead, you adjust. Instead of you going down a whole spiral and imploding and then you ruin, you throw yourself off for months. We don't want to do that. So sit here with me, and I want you kind of close your eyes and envision this. Imagine in 6 months, you're not spiraling over men or friends who have ghosted you emotionally after you giving them your all. Or what if you go to bed, I don't know, at a decent hour so you don't feel like a freaking zombie when you wake up the next day? What if you feel like this is the most you've ever cared for your body? You feel so loved, and that you love yourself so much because you're actually caring for your body. And that's not to say you never have a meal out, you never have junk food, you never have any of those things. Why? I will never preach that on this channel. Why? Because food is so important. What if you woke up 6 months from now and you feel your life feels calm? You don't feel like you're overly stressed, and it doesn't feel fake. It actually feels real for you. If you could picture all that clearly, like I can, that's what happens when you break patterns at a nervous system level. And again, it starts not through big changes, but small, simple steps that are way more doable than just jumping into having huge goals. So I'm going to actually extend an invitation to you. If you know that you're done knowing better, but not doing better, and you actually want to finally do better this year, that's why I created my program, Break the Pattern. I know, you like the name? It's my 12-week program where we use the break protocol to rewire your place of chaos. And yes, I know I covered a lot in this video. That was intentional. But this time I would actually get to help you, and of course everybody else that's participating in the group, with their individual things going on in their life. And I'm going to spend time going through love, relationships, friendships, money, hoarding money, and your body and career. Things that pop up all the time that are sabotaging you from glowing up or living your best life or becoming that girl or becoming the main character, whichever way you want to talk about it. Inside, you're going to be getting weekly implementation goals. So you're not just consuming info, because I don't believe in that. I'm going to give you the information that you need, but I actually want you actually working on it. Like, I want you asking questions in our community. I want you showing up if you need support. If you wanted to get hot seat coaching with me so we can bust your specific sabotage spot, I want to be able to work through these roadblocks with you. We're also going to be giving you tiny savage trackers so you can literally track the behavior patterns that are happening and see your brain change, and actually also be able to document how you feel and how it made you feel to see this change and complete this change, right? That's everything that you're going to get. And again, it's designed to make this the last time you have to start over, because my whole point is to teach you a system that you can use the rest of your life, right? So if any of this is hitting home, I want you to go to the link in my description or DM me Break on Instagram and grab your spot before it's full. And also, as always, drop your questions below and I'll answer as many as I possibly can, either in another video or just commenting back to you. Either way, I hope this gave you a little glimpse into why your old patterns weren't budging and how you can finally change them, because your life is literally waiting on the other side for you. And I promise you, it's so worth it. Bye.